The stars shone quietly over the edge of the human colony on Zirion 9. Silence hung in the void like a heavy blanket, broken only by the soft hum of the colony's energy shields. For years, humanity had tried to survive under the harsh control of the Trivax and the Krell-Tor, two alien empires that had joined forces to enslave humanity. They took everything: land, technology, freedom. But what they had underestimated was something deeper, something that could not be taken: human willpower. Commander Alaric Voss walked slowly through the empty streets of Zirion 9's central city. The sky above glowed with distant warships, patrolling the atmosphere like predators watching prey. Alaric's eyes scanned the horizon. He had seen these ships countless times, yet today, there was something different in the air. A tension that could not be measured by sensors or scanners. Something was coming. In a hidden command bunker beneath the colony, a small group of humans gathered around a flickering holographic display. They were part of the resistance, the last hope for humanity. Every member had lost something to the alien oppressors: families, homes, entire worlds. But today, there was a glimmer of hope. A signal, strange and ancient, had reached the resistance. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. Its origin was unknown, its power unimaginable. Some called it a warning. Others called it a promise. Alaric entered the bunker and took his place at the center. Around him, faces were grim, but eyes burned with determination. The signal had changed everything. "We have only one chance," Alaric said, his voice steady but intense. "They believe they control us. They think we are broken. But what they do not know is that the tool of our revenge has already begun its journey. Tonight, we take the first step." Outside, the alien fleets moved with mechanical precision. Hundreds of ships surrounded the planet, forming a blockade that seemed impenetrable. But humanity had learned to survive through stealth, cunning, and patience. The resistance had spent years building something hidden, something the aliens would never imagine. It was a weapon, not just of destruction but of fear. For the first time in centuries, humans held the advantage of surprise. A young engineer named Lyra Thane worked frantically at a control panel. Sweat ran down her face, and her fingers flew over the holographic keys. "Commander," she said, her voice tight, "the countdown is almost complete. Once the device activates, the signal will propagate across the Trivax and Krell-Tor networks. They won't know what hit them." She paused, looking up at Alaric with a mix of excitement and fear. "Are we ready for what comes next?" Alaric nodded. He knew the risk. If the plan failed, humanity would face complete annihilation. But if it worked, the galaxy would remember. "We are ready," he said. "Every human who survived this nightmare deserves justice. Not mercy. Justice." His eyes flicked to the holographic map, showing the alien fleets in formation. Each point of light was a potential target. "And tonight, we start." In the skies above, a shadow moved faster than any known vessel. A single human warship, cloaked and untraceable, cut through the patrols like a ghost. It had been lost decades ago, thought destroyed in the early wars against the alien empires. Yet here it was, carrying humanity's vengeance across the void. Inside, the crew worked with silent precision, aware that discovery meant death. But they did not falter. Every human on board had been trained for this moment. Every heart beat with a single purpose: freedom. Then, the first pulse of the signal erupted from the hidden device on Zirion 9. The air shimmered as if reality itself trembled. Across the galaxy, alien communication networks began to flicker and fail. Ships powered down mid-flight. Fleets that once moved with deadly coordination now drifted aimlessly. Panic spread faster than any weapon. Commanders shouted orders, but no one answered. For the first time, the oppressors felt fear, a raw, uncontained fear. Alaric watched the chaos unfold on his screen. A small smile touched his lips. Humanity had endured, suffered, and survived. Now, the tables were turning. "Prepare the fleets," he said calmly. "Tonight, we take back our worlds. Tonight, We remind the galaxy that humanity does not bow. Lyra stared at the holographic map, her eyes wide. They're falling apart. It's working, she whispered, disbelief and awe in her voice. The resistance had not just survived, they had ignited a chain reaction that could consume the alien empires. Outside the bunker, the sky erupted in fire. Alien ships collided, their own weapons turned against them in moments of confusion. Explosions lit the horizon, and the night was alive with sound and light. Humanity's vengeance had begun. And yet, Alaric knew this was only the beginning. The war would not end with a single night of chaos. The real challenge was coming, and humanity had to be ready. As the first human warship streaked across the stars, invisible and unstoppable, Alaric felt something he had not felt in years: hope. Not the fragile hope of the oppressed, but the burning hope of the free. Humanity had survived the impossible. And now, the galaxy would learn that no empire, no matter how powerful, could enslave a species willing to fight back. And somewhere, in the cold expanse of space, the whispers of the humans' vengeance began to echo. The Trivax and Krell Tor had ruled for centuries, thinking themselves invincible. They had never seen the humans they had enslaved rise as one. And they would not survive the storm that was coming. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Across the sectors, alien fleets that once dominated entire systems were now paralyzed, their warships drifting aimlessly as if the stars themselves had turned against them. For centuries, the Trivax and Krell Tor had believed they were untouchable. But humanity's silent strike had shattered that illusion in moments. Commander Alaric Voss stood at the bridge of the hidden command bunker on Zirion 9, his eyes glued to the holographic displays. Ships blinked out of existence one after another, disabled not by weapons, but by a signal that twisted their own systems against them. "Keep monitoring," Alaric ordered. "We need to know which fleets are still operational." In the corner, Lyra Thane's fingers flew over the controls, her mind racing. "Commander, the signal is spreading faster than we anticipated. Entire fleets in the Outer Rim are going offline. The Krell Tor command stations, they're silent. It's complete chaos." Her voice trembled with excitement. "It's as if the galaxy is finally listening to us." Alaric nodded slowly, but he knew caution was vital. Chaos could turn against them if they weren't careful. "Don't celebrate yet," he said. "The Trivax are clever. They'll regroup. They always do. Humanity survives because we are ready for every outcome. Remember that." Meanwhile, in the far reaches of space, the ancient human warship moved like a shadow among the stars. Its cloaking field shimmered faintly, masking it from enemy sensors. Captain Rhea Solis stood at the helm, her jaw tight with determination. She had been trained for decades, prepared for this mission since she was a child. Every crew member aboard knew the stakes. This was humanity's vengeance, and failure was not an option. Suddenly, alarms blared through the ship. Red lights flashed across the bridge. "Commander Solis, we've detected a fleet approaching from the Krell Tor home sector," said Lieutenant Jaren. "They're heading straight for us." Rhea's eyes narrowed. "They think they can stop us," she whispered. Then she straightened, voice strong. "Plot an intercept course. Ready the countermeasures. Let them come. Humanity doesn't run." Back on Zirion 9, Alaric received reports from scouts hidden in nearby star systems. "Commander, multiple Trivax strike teams are mobilizing," said one of his officers. "They're moving toward colonies that survived the initial chaos. They might attempt retaliation." Alaric clenched his fists. "Then we meet them head-on," he said. "We have waited too long. Every human outpost, every survivor, they will rise with us. This isn't just a strike, it's a warning. Humanity will not be slaves again." In a distant asteroid belt, resistance forces prepared their hidden armadas. Rusted freighters, scavenged fighters, and old warships now carried advanced cloaking technology and weapons humanity had salvaged over decades. Families who had lived in fear for generations now trained as soldiers. Every man, woman, and child who could fight had joined the ranks. The galaxy might have believed humans were weak, but now every corner of space would learn otherwise. Back aboard the warship, Rhea glanced at her crew. "This is it," she said. "Once we move, there's no turning back. We either free humanity or perish trying." The crew nodded, hearts pounding. Outside, stars stretched into streaks of light as the ship engaged its hyperdrive. Moments later, distant explosions lit up the dark void. Entire fleets collapsed into themselves as the signal reached deeper sectors. The Krell-Tor command stations, thought to be unbreachable, fell silent. For the first time, the galaxy felt the trembling of human vengeance. Lyra watched the displays in awe. "Commander, it's spreading to their home worlds. They don't know how to fight it. Their cities, their entire infrastructure is failing." Alaric's face was calm, but inside, adrenaline surged. "Good. Let them taste fear," he said quietly. "They need to understand that humans cannot be controlled, cannot be broken." Yet, even as humanity's strike succeeded, the resistance knew that victory was far from complete. The Trivax and Krell-Tor were powerful, cunning, and ruthless. They had enslaved countless species before and survived every rebellion. But this time, humanity had something they never expected, a unity born from centuries of suffering, and a vengeance that burned brighter than any star. Rhea's warship emerged from hyperspace near a Trivax supply route. Enemy scouts detected the ship, but before they could react, human weapons activated. Plasma cannons flared, tearing through alien shields with precision. Every strike was calculated, every maneuver deadly. The galaxy's oppressors had underestimated humans for too long. "Report," Rhea demanded. Lieutenant Jaren grinned, though sweat ran down his face. "All enemy scouts destroyed, Commander. The main fleet is disrupted. They'll be in chaos for hours." Rhea clenched her fists, eyes glowing with determination. "Good. Let's make it count. Every strike, every maneuver, we show them what it means to enslave humanity." Back on Zirion 9, Alaric observed the coordinated attacks across multiple sectors. The resistance was rising. The galaxy was witnessing the beginning of something extraordinary. Humans taking back their freedom, one system at a time. And somewhere in the cold void, the Trivax and Krell-Tor leaders realized, too late, that humanity had not just survived. They had adapted, learned, and evolved. They had discovered a force they could not crush, a fire they could not extinguish. Humanity was no longer prey. Humanity was the predator. The first wave of strikes had succeeded, but the resistance knew this was just the beginning. Alaric, Lyra, Rhea, and every human fighting in hidden corners of the galaxy braced themselves. The war would be long, brutal, and uncertain, but the message was clear: Earth's vengeance had begun, and it would consume everything in its path. The galaxy trembled under the weight of humanity's vengeance. Across the sectors, the Trivax and Krell-Tor fleets scrambled to regroup, but every movement seemed slower, weaker, as if the signal that humans had unleashed was now controlling the very flow of battle. It was chaos unlike anything the alien empires had ever experienced. Commander Alaric Voss stood at the command bunker, his gaze fixed on the flickering holographic map. Small points of light blinked across the stars, each representing a human strike or a collapsing enemy fleet. "They don't know how to fight back," he said quietly. "They've never faced humans like this." Lyra Thane leaned over his shoulder, her eyes wide. "Commander, we're detecting coordinated sabotage across the Trivax supply lines. Their ships are turning on each other in some sectors. Entire stations are shutting down. This is unprecedented." Alaric's lips curved into a grim smile. "Exactly. Humanity is rewriting the rules. We've survived centuries under their rule, and now, we are unstoppable." Meanwhile, deep in the void, Captain Rhea Solis and her crew pressed forward. Their human warship, cloaked and fast, had become the spear of the human counterattack. Every encounter left alien ships burning or drifting lifeless in space. Yet the Krell-Tor, stubborn and clever, had begun to adapt. Scouts that survived the first strike now moved in unpredictable patterns, attempting to flank the humans. Lieutenant Jaren pointed at the main view screen. "Commander, sensors detect multiple enemy squadrons approaching from the nebula. They're attempting an ambush." Ria's eyes narrowed. "Good. Let them try. Fire at will, but stay hidden until the perfect moment. Remember, humans fight smart before we fight hard." The ambush hit, and the void erupted in fire. Alien weapons flashed across the darkness, yet none could pierce the ship's shields. Humanity had learned, adapted, and upgraded with technology scavenged from centuries of oppression. Every attack the aliens tried seemed to backfire, and every countermeasure they deployed failed. At the same time, on Zirion 9, Alaric received alarming news. "Commander, the Trivacs are sending reinforcements from the core systems. If they reach us before our fleets secure the outer sectors, they could trap us." Alaric clenched his fists. "Then we cannot wait. Prepare the strike teams. Every human on Zirion 9 who can fight will be deployed. We hold our ground and expand simultaneously. Humanity does not hide. We strike." Lyra's fingers danced across her control panel, sending encrypted coordinates to hidden human units across neighboring systems. "They're moving fast, Commander. If we're not careful, the Trivax reinforcements will intercept some of our units." Alaric's eyes were cold but focused. "Then we create diversions. Every squad, every ship, must act as a part of the bigger plan. Confuse them, trap them, and destroy them. They thought they could enslave us. Now we make them regret it." In another corner of the galaxy, human colonies that had long been silent and fearful rose like flames in the dark. Civilians who had hidden in fear for decades now manned turrets, piloted ships, and operated advanced weapon systems. Every attack on a human colony now turned into a trap for the aliens. Entire sectors thought lost were now becoming battlefields where humanity fought back with precision and ferocity. Back on the warship, Ria's crew executed their attack flawlessly. Ships that had once been feared as unstoppable predators now burned in the darkness. The alien fleets were breaking, not just physically but psychologically. Panic spread as more and more commanders realized they could no longer control the human threat. Suddenly, the sensors picked up a massive anomaly. A Trivax dreadnought, larger than any vessel humanity had seen, emerged from hyperspace. Its hull gleamed like a black star, bristling with weapons. "Commander Solis," Lieutenant Jaren said, his voice tight. "That ship, it's a class they've never deployed in the outer sectors. It's heading straight for us." Ria's jaw tightened. "This is the test we've been waiting for. Full shields and evasive maneuvers. Once it's within range, we hit its weak points. Humanity doesn't back down from giants." Alaric, monitoring from Zirion 9, felt a cold thrill. "They think sending their strongest will stop us," he murmured. "They haven't understood that humans never surrender. Not then, not now, not ever." The dreadnought opened fire, plasma beams tearing through the void, but the human warship danced around the attacks with a precision no alien ship could match. Each maneuver was calculated, each strike targeted. Slowly, the massive vessel began to falter, its systems failing one by one. Ria's voice rang over the comms. "Now, fire everything we've got." Explosions lit the darkness, shaking space itself. The dreadnought erupted in a cascade of fire and debris, drifting helplessly into the void. Humanity had won another battle, but the war was far from over. Back on Zirion 9, Alaric and Lyra watched the reports pour in. "Every sector we've targeted has suffered massive losses," Lyra said. "The signal, the strikes, the hidden fleets, it's working. Humanity's vengeance is unstoppable." Alaric nodded, eyes sharp. "Yes. But we must remain vigilant. The Trivax and Krell-Tor are still powerful. They will adapt. And when they do, we must be ready. This is not the end. This is only the beginning." In the silence that followed, the Resistance paused to breathe, knowing that what they had started was far bigger than themselves. Across the galaxy, humans had shown that they would no longer be slaves. They had fought back, not just with weapons, but with courage, unity, and relentless determination. And somewhere, deep in the stars, the Trivax and Krell-Tor fleets realized, with growing dread, that humanity was no longer prey. Humanity was a storm, and the storm had only just begun. The galaxy was no longer quiet. Across countless star systems, alarms rang, ships burned, and alien commanders shouted orders that fell on deaf ears. Humanity's strike had not only destroyed fleets, it had shaken the foundations of two empires. The Trivax and Krell-Tor were beginning to panic, and panic among rulers who believed themselves invincible was more dangerous than any weapon. Commander Alaric Voss studied the reports streaming into Zirion 9's command bunker. "The outer sectors are ours," he said quietly. "But we cannot underestimate them. They'll regroup, and they'll come with everything they have." Lyra Thane's fingers flew over the control panels. "Commander, sensors indicate a massive energy spike near the Krell-Tor homeworld. It's unlike anything we've seen before. They're preparing something." Alaric's eyes darkened. "Then we act before they finish. Humanity doesn't wait for the enemy to strike first. Send coordinates to all strike teams. Every hidden fleet moves toward that energy spike. We hit it hard, and we hit it fast." Far away, Captain Rhea Solis and her crew raced through the void. The ancient human warship had become a legend among the stars, a ghost that struck, vanished, and left chaos in its wake. But even legends faced new threats. Scouts reported massive formations of Krell-Tor ships converging near a nebula, moving as if drawn by some irresistible force. Lieutenant Jaren pointed at the holographic display. "Commander, those formations, they're too coordinated. This isn't a normal response. Something is controlling them." Rhea's eyes narrowed. "Then we find the source. Humans don't fight blindly. We hit the head of the snake first, then cut off the body." Meanwhile, on Zirion 9, Alaric prepared for a bold move. Hidden within the planet's core was the last prototype of humanity's secret weapon, a machine so powerful that, if activated, it could change the course of the entire war. Only a few knew of its existence, and fewer still had seen it. Tonight, that weapon would awaken. Alaric turned to Lyra. "Once we deploy the prototype, it must be synchronized with the fleets in the outer sectors. Timing is everything. If we fail, it could destroy more than just the enemy." Lyra swallowed hard, but nodded. "I understand, Commander. I'll make sure it works." Back in the void, Rhea's warship approached the nebula where the Krell-Tor forces gathered. Strange energy pulses shimmered in the darkness, twisting the light around them. Her crew grew tense. Every trained human had heard legends of weapons so powerful they could tear stars apart, and this felt like one of them. Suddenly, the nebula erupted. Energy beams lanced through space, striking ships in every direction. Alien vessels screamed under the assault, but the human warship remained untouched. Cloaked and precise, it moved through the storm like a predator. "Report," Rhea demanded. Lieutenant Jaren checked the instruments. "The energy is artificial, Commander. It's a weapon, but it's unstable. If it reaches full power, it could destroy everything in this system, including us." Rhea's jaw tightened. "Then we stop it before it reaches full power. Fire every torpedo, every pulse cannon. Hit its weak points." On Zirion 9, Alaric activated the prototype. The ground shook as energy surged through hidden conduits, resonating with the signals already sent across the galaxy. The effect was immediate. Alien ships near the energy spike began to falter, their weapons misfiring, shields collapsing. Chaos spread like wildfire. Lyra's voice trembled with awe. "It's working. The prototype, it's destabilizing their weapon." Alaric's eyes shone with determination. "Good. Keep it steady. Humanity must strike while the enemy is vulnerable." Rhea's crew fought with precision, targeting weak points in the Krell-Tor formations. Explosions lit the nebula, massive ships collapsing in fire and debris. The humans moved as one, coordinated, deadly, unstoppable. Yet, in the midst of victory, a new threat appeared. From the core of the energy pulse, a massive Krell-Tor dreadnought emerged, shielded and armed with weapons never before seen. Its presence alone warped the space around it, sending shockwaves that threatened the human warship. "Brace for impact!" Rhea shouted. The crew gripped their stations as the dreadnought fired, beams of energy slicing through the void. But the human warship, sleek and precise, dodged with impossible agility. Alaric monitored the battle from Zirion 9. "This is it," he murmured. "The real test of human strength begins now. If we fail here, all we've done could be lost." Rhea's eyes burned with resolve. "We don't fail. Not now. Not ever." As the human warship circled the dreadnought, firing with calculated precision, the galaxy watched in silent awe. Humanity had faced the impossible and survived. Now, they were not just fighting for freedom, they were fighting for vengeance, for justice, for a future that no alien empire could ever steal again. And somewhere, deep in the Krell-Tor command, fear finally took root. For the first time, their leaders realized that humans were no longer prey. Humans were hunters, and the hunt had just begun. The Krell-Tor dreadnought loomed like a black mountain in the void. Its shields glowed ominously, and its weapons hummed with lethal energy. Captain Rhea Solis gritted her teeth as she watched it approach. Every instinct screamed danger. This was no ordinary ship, it was a mobile fortress, designed to crush entire fleets in minutes. "Commander," Lieutenant Jaren said, voice tense, "our standard weapons won't pierce those shields. We need another plan." Rhea's jaw tightened. "Then we make one. Humanity doesn't fight the impossible and lose. We fight the impossible, and we win." Across the galaxy, Alaric Voss monitored the battle from Zirion 9. Reports from hidden human units showed victories in multiple sectors, but the dreadnought's emergence changed everything. "Lyra," he said, voice low, "prepare the contingency protocols. It's time to escalate." Lyra's fingers danced over the controls. "Contingency protocols are ready, Commander. If we deploy them, we risk everything, but we could disable the dreadnought and turn the tide completely." Alaric nodded. "Then we risk everything. Humanity doesn't survive by playing safe. We strike now." On the human warship, Rhea studied the enemy. The dreadnought's weapons fired in massive arcs, but the human ship dodged with incredible precision. The crew moved as one, trained for years, anticipating every attack. Yet even they felt the dread looming. One hit could destroy them entirely. "Prepare the ion disruptors," Rhea ordered. "We can't destroy it directly. We need to destabilize it." Lieutenant Jaren hesitated. "If we fire too soon, the energy feedback could tear us apart." "Then we time it perfectly," Rhea replied. "Trust yourselves. Trust the ship. Trust humanity." Back on Zirion 9, Alaric activated the contingency protocols. Hidden satellites and fleets across the galaxy aligned their attacks, sending focused energy pulses directly at the dreadnought. The alien ship shuddered, shields flickering as the combined human force hit it from every angle. Rhea's crew fired the ion disruptors, aiming at weak points revealed by the coordinated human strikes. The dreadnought roared, energy arcs exploding across its hull. Fire and debris scattered in all directions. Humanity's assault was relentless, precise, unstoppable. Yet the dreadnought was not alone. Smaller Krell-Tor ships, previously hidden, now emerged from hyperspace. They swarmed the human warship, intent on destroying the spearhead of humanity's attack. Rhea's eyes narrowed. Divert power to shields and engage evasive maneuvers. Target the stragglers first. Humanity doesn't retreat. The warship weaved through enemy fire, each movement calculated, each shot deliberate. One by one, the Krell-Tor ships fell, exploding in fire and debris. The dreadnought, now heavily damaged, attempted a retreat. Alaric's eyes were sharp. "No. We finish this now." He directed the hidden fleets to cut off its escape. Humanity's net tightened around the massive vessel, leaving it nowhere to go. Lyra's fingers flew over the console. "Commander, the dreadnought is destabilizing. Its core is about to implode." "Good," Alaric said, voice calm but intense. "Now we watch history being made." Rhea's warship stayed close, monitoring every movement. The dreadnought's core began to fracture. Massive explosions tore through its hull, and finally, with a deafening roar, it shattered into a million pieces. The shockwave rippled across the nebula, scattering debris and enemy remnants alike. For a moment, silence fell. Humans across the galaxy, hidden in fleets and colonies, watched the signals from their strike units. Victory had been achieved, not just a battle won, but a message sent. Humanity had struck the heart of the Krell-Tor fleet and lived. Alaric allowed himself a rare smile. "This is only the beginning," he said softly. "They will never underestimate us again." Rhea's crew cheered, but she held her composure. "Celebrate later," she said. "The galaxy is bigger than one battle. We have to keep moving. Humanity must strike everywhere, until our people are free and the oppressors learn fear." Across the sectors, resistance units were already mobilizing for the next phase. Hidden human colonies joined forces, ships previously thought lost returned, and coordinated attacks spread through the alien networks like wildfire. Humanity's vengeance was becoming unstoppable, a storm no empire could withstand. Yet even as the human warship moved forward, scanning for the next threat, a chilling signal appeared on the long-range sensors. It was not alien. It was something older, something far more dangerous. The pulse was rhythmic, precise, and growing stronger by the minute. Lieutenant Jaren frowned. "Commander, this isn't Krell-Tor or Trivax. It's something else. Something ancient." Rhea's eyes narrowed. "Prepare the crew. Whatever it is, humanity doesn't back down. We face it, we fight, and we survive. That's what we do." Alaric, still observing from Zirion 9, felt a shiver run down his spine. Humanity had won battles, yes, but now a new challenge had emerged, one that could change everything. And yet, even as doubt threatened to creep in, he knew one truth: humans never surrendered. They adapted, they fought, and they always rose again. The galaxy was watching. The humans were rising. And the next chapter of vengeance, of freedom, was about to begin. The pulse had grown stronger. Across human sensors, the rhythm of the signal was almost hypnotic. Cold, precise, and unlike anything the galaxy had ever encountered. It was not Trivax. It was not Krell-Tor. Something ancient, something that had waited in the shadows, had awakened. Commander Alaric Voss leaned over the holographic display on Zirion 9. "Lyra, can we trace it?" Lyra's fingers flew across the panels, her face pale. "It's impossible, Commander. The signal moves through subspace, bending around sensors. It's intelligent. It's watching us." Alaric's jaw tightened. "Then we prepare for the unknown. Mobilize all strike teams. Every hidden fleet, every colony that can fight, prepare for immediate deployment. Humanity has never surrendered, and we will not start now." Far in the void, Captain Rhea Solis' warship had detected the same signal. Strange energy distortions warped the space around them, flickering like broken stars. The crew felt it even before sensors confirmed it, a deep, unnatural awareness that someone, or something, was observing them. "Lieutenant Jaren," Rhea said, voice steady, "I want a full scan of this anomaly. Every reading, every pulse. Prepare for combat, but stay hidden until we understand it." Jaren nodded, his fingers trembling slightly. "Commander, it's huge. The energy signature, it's bigger than any fleet we've ever faced. It's alive. Almost." Rhea's eyes narrowed. "Then we treat it like a living weapon. We find the weak points, and we strike." On Zirion 9, Alaric called an emergency council. Humans from every hidden colony, every resistance cell, gathered via secure communications. "The enemy is changing," he said, voice firm. This is not just the Trivax or Krell Tor anymore. Something older, stronger, and far more dangerous has appeared. But humanity fights. We adapt. We survive. And we will rise. Lyra interjected. Commander, the signal is not only observing, it's interfering. Our communications are disrupted in multiple sectors. The hidden fleets could be isolated if we don't act fast. Alaric's eyes burned with resolve. Then we synchronize. All units follow the contingency plans. We strike first, together. We do not wait for fear to reach us. We bring it to them. Rhea's warship moved cautiously toward the source of the signal. The void around them shimmered, as if reality itself had weakened. The crew gripped their stations, feeling an eerie hum through the ship's hull. The strange pulse seemed to probe their minds, testing their courage, their resolve. Commander Solis, Jaren said, his voice low. It's like it knows us. Our fears, our thoughts. It's reading everything. Rhea did not flinch. Then we remind it why humans are never defeated. Shields up. Weapons ready. And stay calm. Fear is the enemy. Suddenly, a wave of energy rippled through space. Smaller vessels in nearby sectors erupted in fire, their systems failing instantly. The signal was no longer passive, it was attacking. On Zirion 9, Alaric barked orders. All strike teams engage subspace shields. Protect your vessels. Humanity will not fall so easily. Lyra's fingers moved rapidly. Commander, if we coordinate the hidden fleets, we can focus our energy into a counterpulse. It might push back the signal. Alaric's expression hardened. Do it. Every ship, every system that can contribute, send your energy to the core pulse. We will fight this together. In the void, Rhea's warship aligned with subspace channels, channeling energy from hidden human ships scattered across the galaxy. The pulse hit the anomaly, creating a massive shockwave that lit the darkness. The ancient force recoiled. The void twisted violently, throwing debris and alien vessels alike into chaos. Yet the pulse fought back, countering human energy, probing for weaknesses. Every human fleet felt the strain, every crew member's heart pounded with the knowledge that failure meant annihilation. Rhea gritted her teeth. Keep firing. Keep holding. Humanity doesn't break. Alaric watched on Zirion 9 as reports came in from every sector. Slowly, the anomaly weakened. Its attacks faltered. Ships previously destroyed regained power. The signal's pulse dimmed, but it was not gone. Lyra whispered, Commander, it's adapting. It's learning. If we don't finish this, it will return stronger. Alaric nodded, eyes hard as steel. Then we prepare the next strike. Humanity has faced worse than gods, worse than empires. We fight, we survive, we conquer. And this will be no different. Rhea's crew exhaled collectively as the immediate threat subsided, but the tension remained. The galaxy had glimpsed something far older and more powerful than the Trivax or Krell Tor, and humanity had faced it, and survived. Yet Alaric knew the real war had just begun. Humanity had struck back, yes, but the pulse, the ancient force, had learned, adapted, and now it would hunt them. And somewhere, in the dark edges of the galaxy, a new chapter of vengeance, survival, and courage was being written, a chapter where humans would face their greatest test yet. The galaxy held its breath. Across countless star systems, every human ship, every hidden fleet, every colony poised for battle waited for the final confrontation. The ancient pulse, the mysterious force that had challenged humanity, had grown stronger, more intelligent, more dangerous. It had tested them, attacked them, and adapted to every tactic. Now, it awaited humanity's full response. Commander Alaric Voss stood on the bridge of Zirion 9's command bunker, eyes locked on the holographic displays. This is it, he said quietly, voice calm but hard. Every strike, every unit, every human who survived this war is counting on us. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity does not beg. Humanity fights, and tonight, we end this. Lyra Thane's fingers flew over the controls, coordinating fleets across the galaxy. Commander, the ancient force is preparing a massive pulse. If it hits, it could wipe out half the systems we've liberated. Alaric's jaw tightened. Then we strike first. Synchronize every hidden fleet. Focus our energy on one central strike. We hit the source directly, or we risk losing everything. Far in the void, Captain Rhea Solis' warship advanced toward the source of the pulse. The dark expanse around them shimmered like a storm, twisting reality itself. Strange energy arcs lanced across the void, threatening to tear ships apart. The crew gripped their stations, hearts pounding. They had faced impossible odds before, but this was unlike anything. Lieutenant Jaren, Rhea said, voice steady, prepare all weapons. Shields at maximum. And remember, humans survive because we adapt. Find its weakness, strike, and hold nothing back. Jaren nodded, his fingers trembling over the console. Commander, the energy is alive. It's almost thinking. It's predicting our moves. Rhea's eyes burned with resolve. Then we fight smarter. We move faster. We act as one. Humanity does not fail when the odds are impossible. On Zirion 9, Alaric initiated the final plan. Hidden fleets across the galaxy aligned, channeling energy into a massive coordinated pulse aimed directly at the anomaly. The ancient force reacted instantly, sending waves of energy in every direction, tearing smaller ships apart. Yet, humanity's coordination was flawless. Every pulse, every ship, every weapon synchronized with precise timing. Rhea's warship darted through the chaos, striking at weak points exposed by the coordinated attack. The ancient force roared through the void, its power bending space, disrupting sensors, and shaking even the most hardened ships. Yet humans pressed forward, fearless, relentless, unstoppable. Lyra's voice crackled over the comms. Commander, energy alignment is perfect. The core of the anomaly is destabilizing. Alaric's eyes narrowed. Good. Now we finish it. Rhea's warship launched its final assault, striking at the heart of the anomaly. Energy pulses collided, the void itself lighting up in blinding flashes. Alien remnants were thrown into chaos, fleets scattered, and the ancient pulse began to collapse inward, writhing and screaming across the void. Hold steady, Rhea shouted. Do not let it recover. Across the galaxy, human fleets pressed the attack. Systems that had been enslaved for centuries now coordinated with perfect precision. Civilians turned soldiers fired weapons, piloted ships, and manned turrets with unwavering courage. Every human, from Zirion 9 to the outer colonies, fought as one unstoppable force. The ancient pulse convulsed, reality bending and twisting, but the combined strength of humanity was greater. Slowly, inevitably, the force shattered. Energy arcs exploded outward, and the darkness that had haunted the galaxy vanished. Silence followed, a deep, heavy silence filled with awe and disbelief. Rhea exhaled, her crew cheering softly but cautiously. The warship floated through the calm void, scanning for any remaining threats. It's over, she said quietly, though she knew the galaxy would never forget this battle. It's really over. On Zirion 9, Alaric allowed himself a rare smile. Humanity had faced empires, dreadnoughts, and an ancient force older than any civilization. And now, for the first time in centuries, humans were free. The Trivax and Krell Tor had been shattered, their fleets broken, their leaders defeated. Humanity's vengeance was complete. Lyra's eyes shone with pride. We did it, Commander. We survived. We won. Alaric looked across the holographic displays, seeing fleets returning to human colonies, survivors reunited, and systems liberated. No, he said softly. We did more than survive. We showed the galaxy that humanity can never be enslaved. We showed them fear, yes, but we also showed them strength, courage, and unity. Rhea's voice came over the comms. Commander Voss, all sectors report stability. The galaxy is ours, at least for now. Alaric nodded, though he knew vigilance would always be necessary. But for the first time in centuries, humanity stood victorious. Not just as survivors, but as rulers of their destiny. Across the stars, humans celebrated quietly and fiercely. They had endured impossible odds, faced the strongest enemies, and emerged victorious. And as the dust settled in the void, one truth became clear to every observer. Humanity did not bow. Humanity did not kneel. Humanity had risen, and the galaxy would never forget it. The storm had ended. The vengeance had been delivered. And humanity, free, fierce and unbroken, would rule the stars with courage and fire.